Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Forever United TV. If you can say good, that is optimal right now. After watching what was a abysmal performance from Manchester United today, we're joined by Jay, as you can see, and it's not a good one, Jay. It's not good at all. Manchester United today really not turning up. Let's just say that. I think we can easily say that this has been one of the worst days under Ruben Amorim's reign right now. We've got a lot to get through, got a lot to go over. Do apologise for the slight delay in kickstarting the show, everybody. Pretty much like Manchester United, we just cannot get going right now. But Jay, welcome along. I'm not going to ask you how you are. I'm not going to ask you what you've been up to or anything like that. We need to get right on with everything right now on what happened in that game today at Old Trafford. And I suppose the only way I could really start, Jay, just by asking you, like, your sort of like feeling inside right now, because I'm going to ask this to all of the chat as well. Just like, how are you feeling right now? Like, as a United fan, after watching that today, what's the first word you comes to mind when trying to describe your gut feeling?
Vacuous. I've got this vacuous, empty feeling right now, Adam, in the pit of my stomach. Oh. 2 home games, 2 losses, 6 goals conceded against teams that we should be beating. Let's be fair. We lost against Bournemouth again last season 3-0, so we Groundhog Day today. Look, I've said it many shows with you. There's no manager that's going to be a panacea. The culture of those players, the collective desire and want to perform week in, week out, simply, my friend, isn't there. And unfortunately, any of us, I don't believe, have the resources or the wherewithal to perform a Hurling game style cull and get rid of 5-6 players in the summer. We are. And I feel sorry for Amorim. Amorim, obviously a very charming guy, very communicative, excellent coach. He is having to deal with an absolute shit show. I feel sorry for the man.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we've got to cover it from top to bottom today. It's going to be a long old show, everybody, so get yourself comfortable, get your popcorn in, and obviously get your comments in the live chat as well while we're at it. Please do give the video a like and make sure you've subscribed so you can join in with the chats. Obviously, my initial thoughts, not even outside. I didn't even get outside the ground today, Jay. I had to start talking while I was inside. It was that depressing and needed talking about that much. So my initial thoughts are out there for everybody to see. So go and check that out after we've finished the live show here right now. But we are on the show now live talking about everything, the aftermath, what's gone on, what's been said. So we're going to go through some Amorim quotes. We're going to go through some things. By the way, Amorim's post-match press conference today was interrupted by a leaking fucking roof in Old Trafford's press room box. I mean, it seriously... It never rains, it pours, pardon the pun. Obviously, the weather was shocking again today, as it always is when United lose. But for the press conference room to be leaking as well, good God. But Jay, let's start with Ruben Amorim. I was listening on the radio coming out, totally dejected, and just in a world of my own, listening to what people were saying. I'm like, there's got to be some fans out there that are thinking exactly the same way I am right here. And a couple of the pundits and a couple of people on the radio were saying, look, Ruben Amorim clearly has a way. He clearly has he has a method, he has a structure, he has a philosophy that he wants to keep by, but has he tampered too much? The rotation question was asked. Is he rotating too much right now with the team? Let's start there. There are obvious other issues, but we'll start at the top and we'll work our way down through it. So, Ruben Amorim, Jay, is he rotating too much maybe right now?
It depends how you look at it. Look, he's got a limited playing squad, limited inability. Therefore, he's got to see every player and how to perform in a rebirth situation. He's already getting, in 6 weeks, he's getting what? We had discussions with previously, Adam. 1 day a week on a training ground when you factor in travel time, recovery time, and whatnot. So the only way he's going to see these players and what they're all about is in a real game. So he has to rotate. And if anything today, Adam, he would have learned more from today than what he learned last week against Man City. He knows now full well what his players are, who they are, and who he can depend on. If you got him on a one-on-one and you asked him, right, sir, who are you getting rid of? He already knows.
Yeah.
So he's learned from today. So the English media, as usual, are giving Pep a free pass. His form is far worse than Amorim. Wait and see now. The next couple of weeks, English media will flip the coin, and they're going to go in hard on Amorim, inevitably. And I just hope the fan base, for once, hold tough and back the manager for once.
I mean, we can't say we were back in Erik Ten Hag. I'm not going to even try saying that I was back in Ten Hag. I thought he had enough time. 2 years, and it'll be the same with RUBEN Amorim. 2 years, and it'll be a real test for Ineos right now, because I don't even feel like people are looking at RUBEN Amorim right now. I think a lot of people feel sorry for him. He's inherited a horrendous squad of players. I still believe I've got qualities in them, but mentally I think they're broke. They're completely broken down. When they don't put on, say for instance, when they put on an international jersey, they look like the players that we were supposed to be buying. But when they put on that Manchester United jersey, they look mentally broken. They don't look like they know what they're doing. They don't look confident. And RUBEN Amorim has alluded to this today as well. We should have took chances, but we look nervous. How can you be nervous? You cannot be nervous if you're a Manchester United player. There are standards that have to be kept, and obviously we're struggling right now. But they are mentally finished, this team and this squad, and that's what he's inherited. And he is trying to install a new system for these players to work with and get the best out of them at the same time, while still dealing with them demons inside, I feel. And I don't think he's going to be able to. I think it's got to a stage right now where the players that are in the squad, no matter how good they are, and I've got some inside information I'm not going to keep aside. I'm going to talk about it a bit later on, that I've been told about what's going on behind the scenes. There is an awful lot of unrest, and it's not the people that we actually think are causing the issues from the outside that are really problem. Well, I said that completely wrong there. There are people that you wouldn't have thought are causing issues right now that are at Manchester United. I'll get into that as well, but I think it's that mentality there, Jay, that they're struggling with. Ruben again talked about the players not being able to deal with going a goal behind. Now that, I think, hits the nail right on the head as an issue that every single Manchester United fan can relate to. But going back quickly just to your comment there about backing the manager, he needs another 2 years. The fans will stick with him for 2 years. Don't think there's a problem. The boos at the end of the game that everybody could hear on my fan vlog after the final whistle were for the players. The players can hang their heads in shame today. They really can hang their heads in shame. They know that they've got the qualities. They know that they've got ability, but they really have not got the mental strength to wear that Manchester United shirt. And that's where them tough old decisions need to come in. In terms of, let's start at the back, Jay, for instance. I mean, I've got some of the player stats coming up on the screen again for everybody to see at the bottom. I mean, Harry Maguire today didn't have his best day. It wasn't, let's just say, it wasn't his day, along with quite a few other players right now. The stat rating gives him a 6.3. He had 10 duels, won 6 of them. Passing accuracy was 79%, 48% of 48 passes he had, 0 key passes. I'm looking at Harry Maguire there today, Jay, and he looked lost in the system. He didn't look confident enough to deal with what Bournemouth were bringing. Did you see that? Did you read that in United not being able to react to what Bournemouth's plan was?
Look, Adam, I've gone in hard at Harry Maguire for years. I don't think there's any point in doing it anymore. Harry Maguire is what he is. Had a great game last week in City. We gave him his flowers, but Harry Maguire is Harry Maguire. Today against Bournemouth, I did expect a lot more, and his inability to win more duels shows simply today that Harry Maguire was not the races today. Normally, duels are his forte, and to lose 4 out of 10. Clearly, Harry today wasn't switched on, but as manifest across the entire team. We discussed off air, Adam, and I said to you, no De Ligt, no party. I think De Ligt has been an awesome hero of that back four this season. Hasn't got the credit. Without De Ligt in that team, we are different. We are different defense entirely.
Well, I think it says a lot when you concede 7 goals in 2 games without him, and that kind of shouts out a little bit, Jay.
It certainly does. And of all days, Mazzarari, who arguably has been our signing this season, he picked today to have an off day.
Decision making, Jay. Right.
He's been stellar, and today's decision making is like something you see on a schoolboy pitch.
God, honestly, this is what I was saying outside. This is what I was saying inside the stadium. Sorry, I'm literally scratching my head. I'm actually talking about the players as if the game had already panned out. I confidently went into a fan vlog, literally with 10 minutes left to go of the game, knowing that nothing was going to change. This is how well I know this team and how games go with this team playing. I know exactly what they're made of. I know exactly how a game is going to go just by watching the first 20 minutes of the game. And there's a lad who sits behind me called Nick. He goes there every home game. And I said, as soon as the first goal went in, I turned around and said to him, I said, you might as well go, mate. Take the kids back now. Beat the traffic. This isn't going to change. I can just tell by the way that Bournemouth are cruising around this pitch. Decision making again, allowing Bournemouth. And Amorim says we needed to score the first goal. We're relying on scoring the first goal right now. The last 6 games, Jay, we've conceded the first goal. And we just cannot keep on coming from behind. It's going to catch up with us sooner or later. And right now, it's caught up with us in a big way, Jay. And you can just tell. Me sat there talking about these players and the flaws that they've shown in this game. And then while talking about them, they were still doing it. Literally still doing it. And someone made a great comment. He said, once they go behind, they start playing as individuals and they forget about everything that Ruben Amorim has told them. That did come across to me from the stands. I mean, I've not watched any of the highlights back yet, Jay, I'm going to be honest. From watching it on TV, is that similar for you? Is that how it looks?
Yeah, it's Keane always said leopards and spots. And the very fact that when you referenced there, we go down, and then the players always start going to self-preservation mode, playing for themselves and not playing for each other and playing to the predetermined system by the manager, compounded in at 3-0. And you knew, how many minutes ago did you start the fan blog, Adam?
Well, there was about 10 minutes with injury time to go.
So give or take 40, 50 minutes to go at home, you knew the game is up. You go back, Adam, and again, we don't want to be the historical program here, but go back to the old teams on United days. 10 minutes to go, 2-0 down. You're still confident you're going to get a goal back and get a rousing response from North Stand. And all of a sudden, before you know, it's 2-2. We don't get it anymore. The players simply, my friend, don't have the mentality to play for the badge because they don't believe in themselves. And if they don't believe in themselves, how the hell are we going to believe in them?
Well, that's it. That disconnect is there again. Obviously, I got absolutely battered by all of the subscribers and everybody who watches the channel. Fair enough. You make comments, you stand by them. I still felt like Manchester United could get top 4. I believed in these players. I do have an issue with the mentality. People commenting saying you cannot know the players that well then if you think they can get top 4. Well, I know what happens in a game. I've seen differences in games, every single game that Ruben Amorim has played, and it has been different. It hasn't been anywhere near what it was beforehand. But today literally was exactly the same as what it was. It took me back. It put me in my place firmly. I'm not afraid to say top 4. I believe in my team. But I cannot argue, and what I'll always say is I will not hide away from what I watch. I will not say something different than what I am seeing out on that pitch. And that's what I saw today. I saw today a team that looked as weak as they did under Erik ten Hag. That's exactly what happened on that pitch today. They melted as soon as they went behind. And that's a mentality thing. When you talk about qualities, you're talking about players. And Ruben Amorim can get into this team. He can. And he can make some of these players play a lot better than what they have before. And a hell of a lot better than what they play today. We've seen it already. We've seen what a system can do and how well he can play. It's like Lisandro Martinez, for instance. Again, decision-making today. He wasn't as bad as he was against Spurs. I'll give him his due on that one. His stats were quite decent. He did win a lot of balls. He won a lot of his duels today. Lisandro Martinez, as we can see up on the screen right now. Passing accuracy was 87%. He won 8 of his duels, 6 tackles. But again, I don't necessarily feel like this is individual problems. Them players all play individually. And this is what I wanted to go back to, Jay. It's like they play for themselves. And they look at their stats, and we're looking at their stats. And this is the difference. From that City game, when we did exactly the same thing with the stats, what was every player, Jay? Every single player was very similar because they played as a team. The stats and the passing accuracy were all the same. Today, I'm just looking at them. They're all over the place. And it was like, I'm not going to embarrass myself. I'm just going to play my game here and win my battle. I'm not even going to think about the system or my teammate. And this was the first time under Amorim where we did not play as a team for me. It was horrendous. And it sent shivers down my spine. It sent me straight back into looking like an absolute idiot. But I'm not afraid to say that. I believed in what this manager was inputting. I believed these players could handle what he was asking them to do. They showed that they can. But today, it still showed their frailty in their mental strength in dealing with Old Trafford at the moment, which looks like it's got a curse on it, Jay. Like they cannot handle playing at Old Trafford, and that's not a United player.
Adam, last week we got, I would argue, the first 90-minute team performance under Amorim. Something that we've both been asking for since his arrival. And I naively used the phrase tipping point performance, blah, blah, blah. And this now is going to be the default setting week in, week out. How wrong and naive was I? Consistency, 9-minute performances, is simply not in this bunch of players because mentally they're too weak to do this at Old Trafford. And you touched on it excellently there. Mental frailties, they cannot do it at home. Away from home, pressure's off. If we got a point last week, that would have been a huge thing. Very few expected a win. Today, at home, Bournemouth, last game for Christmas, pressure's on, 3 points, and they crumble like a bowl or shredded wheat today at home in front of their fans. And they should be ashamed themselves as players today.
100%. It's scary. There's a lot of people going in. By the way, I just wanted to shout out Modern Samurai in the chat as well for gifting 10 memberships. Welcome all. Please make sure that you do, if you haven't already, thank Modern Samurai. There is some members content coming up as well very, very soon on the channel. I think we're going to do it on Christmas Eve, so stay tuned for that as well if you are a member. But yeah, going into them frailties again, Jay, there. The worry with all Manchester United fans, and this is what the concern is right now, from inside the stadium and listening to other fans, and listening to fans outside, and even people, like I said then, on the radio driving home from the game today, was that the good players that Ineos have brought in, and Ineos are getting a bit of blame for this right now. Let's not forget, they made a big mistake in backing Ten Hag in the summer, but the players that they brought in have all been our best players. We're talking about missing De Ligt there. Mazraoui's first bad game, really, for Manchester United was today. And with him having his first bad game, United have one of their worst results of the season. It's no coincidence when he's bad, United are bad. That says everything, doesn't it, really? But I think a lot of fans are worried that these players are just going to fall into the same trap that all of the other players have. And that is that they're just going to get dragged down to a level that they're really not. And then they find it difficult to break out of it. They do. It's like Dalot. Good. And now I look at him and I go, I would sell him tomorrow. I would. Literally sell him tomorrow. He has just lost it. He has lost all confidence. I don't think at his age and how long he's been at Manchester United now you can really say that there's time for him to improve. I like him. I love him. I really do. But as a fan right now, I have to put my sort of feelings aside for certain players. And I've said it before, I would not care if any of that squad left this summer. Not one player. Not one, Jay. And that is something that I've never said before as a Manchester United fan. I've never even thought that them words would come out of my mouth. But honestly, I don't care for any of them. Look, if they turn it around and start playing well, fantastic, well done. But this is the disconnect that there is now with this fan base and this team. They don't believe in them. You just mentioned it, Jay. If they don't believe in themselves, how are we supposed to believe in them? And that there is proof in point there that how long can these players last? These players that have just come in before they get dragged into this mediocrity pool right now. And I'm looking at Mazraoui there today. That's the worst I've seen him. That's his worst score rating all season. His passing wasn't on. 84% is poor for him. He won just over half of his duels as well. Obviously cost us the important penalty, which killed the game off completely with stupid decisions. But he's playing desperately and trying to do more than what he should, I feel. And this is the thing with Bruno as well. He's making lots of mistakes because he's trying to do too much. I feel like the players that are good enough and strong enough are always going to come unstuck when trying to do more in this team. Because no one's on their wavelength at all. I didn't think Bruno was bad today, but I can see the issues that he's having right now, and I can see the poor decision-making that is in his game right now as well. But again, still, even Bruno, mate, I'm not bothered right now. Anyone to try and build up or put praise on, I know for a fact that the next week they could be just throwing me under the bus and making me look like an idiot. And that's hard to take as a United fan right now, Jay.
Like, Adam, you remember when Beckham was sold, Ronaldo, Yap Stam, Keane left. You were fucking devastated. Genuinely devastated. Now, I don't give a shit if any of them go. Because I have no, how to put this nicely. I won't say respect, because I respect everyone as a human being, but I don't have any confidence in them in 3 years' time, 2028, this mystical Project 28. I don't have confidence in any of that starting 11 today to be there when we supposedly win a title in 2028. Reference there, Bruno. It was 1-0 down when Ogada went off. Yellow card obviously had to go off. And then when he went off, Adam, I thought the wheels well and truly fell off. Bruno had to go into midfield. Bruno is going to try and overcompensate, because he does try. I'll give him credit. He does try to take the team on his shoulders. He will overcompensate. And yes, in that context, he makes mistakes. But the big picture there is we've got Casemiro on, 20, 25 per week. Champions League Casemiro. Why the hell isn't he coming in as CDM? So what's happened behind the scenes of Casemiro and Amorim? Is that another falling out?
Well, this leads us into a situation right now, because at the start of the game I was excited, Jay, because Ruben Amorim stood his ground with Marcus Rashford. He showed him up to be the absolute waste of space that he really is, because he gave him his opportunity. I tweeted it out before the game. He gave him his opportunity. He said, look, he said it on national TV. He said, look, if you want to work hard, then you've got a chance of getting in the side. Clearly, he's been in training, because Ruben Amorim said he was, and he can't be asked. And he's out the squad again completely, which is the ultimate embarrassment right now. But the Casemiro situation is incredibly strange, because he's rotating players but not rotating certain players. There is something definitely going on behind the scenes at Manchester United. Now, I spoke to my friend, you know him as well, Jay, and I said, he's standing his ground here with Marcus Rashford, isn't he? What's going on? He says, I'm just going to speak to someone. To bear with me. And at the end of the game, I had a message back off him, which literally read, Rashford is done. Rashford is gone. Forget it. That's what's coming out of Carrington right now. And Alejandro Garnacho is 50% out of the door. There's something that happened in the Spurs game when he came off the pitch, when he was being talked to, that has sparked an incident behind the scenes at Carrington, and Garnacho is as much of a not as much of a problem, I said that wrong, as Rashford at the moment, but Rashford and Garnacho are big issues for Manchester United and Ruben Amorim in particular right now behind the scenes. I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to figure that out as well. But what you just said there on top of that, Jay, it's like, why is Eriksen not getting minutes in a game when you need some quality on the ball? Why is Casemiro not getting minutes when he's got all of that experience in trying to get his team over the line? These are two of the most experienced players at every single level in different leagues across all of the best of what there is in Europe that cannot get anywhere near our team at the minute. What the hell is going on behind the scenes, Jay? Because at the moment, we're suffering for it. And is this the stance you feel that Amorim is taking right now? It's like, I am going to out absolutely everything that is going wrong at Manchester United for everybody to see. He didn't even have to answer a Rashford question today. He said it's the same question again all the time. Literally, he's just saying, look, I told you what my system is. If they want to work hard, they're going to get into this team or have a chance to get into this team. If they're not, you're not going to see them. So everybody's asking the same questions, really, waiting for him to say something new. But really, he's already outed the player. It's done. It's moved past it. But the problem we've got is we're all going to have to suffer because we haven't got the quality and depth to cover all of these players right now, because you can say what you want about them. They've all been under the microscope this season. They've all been criticised, Jay, but they have got experience. And right now, we don't look like we know how to see a 90-minute game out at all.
Adam, that's quite a starting insight there. So
I got told that today, mate. Literally, after the game finished, I looked at my phone, it was there.
I'm going to have to message that individual later on tonight and try extrapolate more information.
For your evening entertainment, mate. That one.
If you're watching, we won't name you. Expect a WhatsApp later on tonight. Anyway, so then to extrapolate from everything you said, Amorim clearly is setting his stall out. This is how it's going to be. These are my standards of performance on a training ground. This is what I expect your general attitude around the club. And he obviously alluded to it with Rashford and with Garnacho. And clearly, if you don't meet basic minimum standards, you will not be considered for team selection. And Adam, we actually have to admire him on that. Solskjaer didn't do it. He was a pussy. Ten Hag couldn't communicate. And when Mourinho tried it, we know what happened there. He got the bullet because he was seen as too truculent, too aggressive. And Paul Pogba started crying like a little girl. And so did Rashford. He was out of the club. Radnick gave his open heart surgery speech, told the club what it was. But however, finally, in the bigger context, we have a manager that is setting his stall out. This is how it's going to be. This is what I expect. Meet my expectations, or you shall not play. And Adam, you know what? In the fullness of time, okay, we'll take medicine now and lose games and whatnot. It is what it is. But in the fullness of time, Adam, this is exactly what the club needs: a change of culture and mentality with the players.
100%, mate. And we have to take the punishment for him right now, because we're the ones who are going to be laughed at. We're the ones who are going to be bantered. Ruben Amorim can only do what he knows, and this is obviously the way that he is going to do it. It's different to anything we've had before. It really is, and I think we just have to get used to it. It's like Brian says in the chat there, just come up at the bottom there. Ranić was right. It just needs completely tearing apart and starting over again. And we are going to have to take some serious loss to actually get to where we need to be. And my God, all I can think about, Jay, right now, the carnage that's going on the pitch, what's going on off it? Jesus, like seriously. Ineos are going to be busy. I think things need to start moving in January, because I've seen Romano's tweeted out earlier on there is a possibility Rashford leaves in January. There are offers there from Saudi Arabia already on the table coming in for Marcus Rashford now. I think United are making their moves behind the scenes to start moving players on. It's clearly today there was a lot of that team there. Malacia is up on the screen right now. He was absolutely atrocious today. A man completely lost with all confidence right now. And that was proof in the first few minutes of the game. I think when Agate absolutely... he just spread a ball, superb ball across to him, across the pitch. The fans went up and were just like, whoa, that's brilliant. And then in trying to control the ball, Malacia lets it slip right under his foot. And you could just feel, like literally little moments like that, Jay, you could just feel the mood in the stadium just go, oh, just like that. It's just little things at the moment that are not connecting. And again, it goes back to what Ruben said, and the players not having confidence and then being very, very nervous about what they're doing. You cannot be that way at Old Trafford because it will swallow you whole. This is a big football club, and the fans will be behind you if you show the right attitude and you play well. But like every other big club across the world, if things are not going right and you look like you don't belong, then they will let you know about it. The fans will speak. And they were speaking today, Jay, in that stadium. Again, that's the worst I've seen it for a while. And I think it was simply because the hope was there with Ruben Amorim. And obviously, it's been deflated out of a lot of people. We can try and be positive as much as we want. And I'm always trying to be upbeat and see the better side of things. Like I said, I say what I see. Malacia looks lost. He's a player that's never going to survive at Manchester United. He's not good enough. Again, another Ten Hag signing that's gone completely wrong. Ruben Amorim needs his own players in, really, Jay. And I think that's when we can start properly judging him. But he is going to have to take the flack, like you said, from the media now because of everything that's gone on before and the squad of players that he's dealing with. Yeah,
and as I pointed out, that's inevitable. the honeymoon period now, I think, with Amorim and the media will have passed. And cue tomorrow morning, articles will be dropped by so-called exalted journalists. What's gone wrong with the system? Why can't Amorim this and that? And they'll probably knock a week or two out of it before next press conference. That's what they do, because it's going to be part of the news cycle. But meanwhile, as I said, Pep gets free pass. There you go. That's just the English media landscape for you. But I think if any man is big enough to see the bigger picture of the media landscape, I think Amorim, and I think he coped it very, very well. I think he's very astute.
That is it. 100%, mate. Agree with that. He does look like he is prepared for what is happening right now. That's one thing I will say about him. It's got Bruno's stats up on the screen there as well, because Bruno is obviously going to divide opinion. This is the typical. This is the problem with Bruno right now in his one stat section right here. Bruno Fernandes, 15 duels, 5-1. Passing accuracy, 74%. Key passes, 4. Passes, 68 in total. 5 shots, 3 on target. That is Bruno in a nutshell right there. And on stats alone, he's our highest rated player today, I think, alongside Amad Diallo. But passing accuracy off because he's taking risks. But in that, he gets 4 key passes. He gets more shots on target than anybody. His duels won is horrendously bad. He's so good and so bad at the same time, Bruno Fernandes. He's just like a complete loose cannon. And Bruno, when things are going wrong, probably isn't the type of player you need in your team, Jay, because when you can carry players like Bruno Fernandes in a team that has got a well-oiled system in place, pretty much like Bournemouth today, everybody knew what they were doing. And when you've got that in your team, you could probably carry a player like Bruno, because he is going to make a difference in a certain way. He's like a cherry on top of the cake after everything has been made. Right now, I just think he's a loss for Manchester United because he is erratic. And you just don't know what you're going to get with him. But I do feel sorry for him, because I can see drive, I can see passion in him. But it isn't working for United. And you have to be honest.
But Bruno has been indulged by 2 previous managers and allowed to be erratic. I think Radnick was the only manager that actually saw through it and was calling up on it. But Ten Hag and Ole, they indulged Bruno. So that's Bruno's default setting. When the team isn't playing well, when the things aren't going well, the system structure goes out the window. Bruno psychologically takes it on his shoulders. When one would need a cooler head and a more, how to put it, nuanced persona to say, right, it's not going well. If I come in here and force it, it's going to get worse. I got to start doing simple things well for a few minutes, put my foot in the ball, slow down tempo of the game, and get my teammates playing around me. Bruno doesn't do that. He'll force the pass. And that's just in his nature. And we've seen it for years, Adam.
That is it, Jay. You nailed it there. And unless he is going to be disciplined, he's just going to keep on doing what he does. And that's why he infuriates the fans. He does. I've seen it before. As much as I love him, I get what everybody's saying about him. I do. I get it. I can't ignore the fact that he does give the ball away a lot. I know, but he creates a lot as well. And he was close a couple of occasions today. And then you go across to the opposite, which is Joshua Zirkzee playing as our number 9 today. And Joshua Zirkzee, 6 duels, 2-1. One of them was a pathetic attempt for the first goal that Bournemouth scored in trying to head that ball. Passing accuracy of 55%. He only made 11 passes, Jay. 1 shot on goal as our number 9 striker. When you've got an organised team, Joshua Zirkzee looks lost. He really does, mate. And this is a massive, major concern of mine that this player right now is probably, with what's going on with Rashford and Garnacho, one of our hopes. And this is what the point was trying to make earlier on, Jay, that Ruben's doing the right thing, but we are going to have to suffer because the only other option we've got, because now Mason Mount's injured, you've basically lost 3 of your number 10s from the side. And Joshua Zirkzee is being played in certain positions where I don't think he suits, and a few other players in this squad, because of injuries and issues within the squad, are playing out of position as well. I don't know if you agree on that one, but his stats alone there, Jay, wow, like seriously, like 55% passing accuracy, you're thinking, whoa, he must have had a few. 11 passes in total in the whole game.
55% accuracy. How is that even possible for a professional player? Xerxes is one of the bigger, more physical guys in the team. So how the hell is not winning duels?
Mate, he does not look strong. Honestly, he gets knocked off the ball so easily.
But how tall is he? Is he like
6'4"?
He's a big boy.
6'4", mate. He's a monster of a man. Honestly,
Yeah.
he towers above everybody. And his size, honestly, it's like putting a professional footballer on a pitch of under 18s. You know, you can just see the physical presence and like they've filled out. That's what he looks like compared to other players on that pitch. He's a monster, but he's weak.
Like Adam, I'm only 6'1". I'm not tall, but I'll go and embarrass somebody. I don't give a shit. So you have a player 6'4" should be able to dominate centre back. I'm telling you here and now, Xerxes will be sold in the summer.
You reckon he's
signing,
gone?
I think he's gone. Okay, we've seen enough from thus far. Signed from Italy. What is he a 10? He's a striker. Whatever he is, Adam, mate, be honest with you, mate, I don't care anymore. When I saw his name today on a team list, I said to my son, we ain't scoring today.
I was saying the same. I said the same thing. I said I'm just a bit concerned up front, and I said he'll play Xerxes in the road trip coming in. I'm not going to hide away from that. I said I'd play him because he wants to freshen it up, but I thought, you know what? He's had a bit more practice. He's understanding of the game more. We're playing Bournemouth at home. It's a good chance for him here. But then I look at Rasmus Højlund coming on in his cameo for 36 minutes for Joshua Xerxes. Double the shots on target. Same amount of passes, Jay, including one key pass. 91% pass accuracy. 7 duels, 2 of them won, 1 tackle. Literally a 6.9 on stats alone for Rasmus Højlund. There is a player there that is getting better, but needs someone with him. And Joshua Xerxes isn't the man to work alongside. We have got the wrong combination up front, Jay, and we will not score goals because of that.
What a stark contrast in the stats between Højlund and Xerxes.
We've said this before, Jay.
Wow.
Was we not saying this against Victoria Pilsen again?
Yeah, we have. So I'm going to go on record now and say Xerxes gone this summer. He's done.
Not good enough.
He's not good enough for what we want. So I think Ineos will cut their losses and dump him in the summertime. They have to. Højlund will be kept. But as we've been saying for how many years now, Adam, a senior striker has to be with Højlund, or Højlund will achieve the potential.
Yeah, 100%, Jay. Please give the video a like, everybody, as well. Make sure you have subscribed to Forever United TV. Also, thank you, everybody. We have got one more set of stats to bring in, which is Garnacho's. And I want to get your opinion on what I said there as well, Jay. Stats alone, stats can cover so many different things. Like we talked about Bruno and how bad his stats looked. Garnacho, when he came on, looked like a lost soul. He's getting a bit of stick at the moment as well from the fans, but the stats tell him that he's got a 7 out of 10. One shot on target, 19 passes, 4 key passes. He's hitting all of the marks regarding percentage-wise, but it's what you do with them. He won 2 of his 3 duels, 84% pass accuracy. He went clean through on goal, Jay, and then just rolled it into the keeper. That's that clinical striker. When you need something to happen, that you need someone to put the ball in the back of the net, we haven't got, Jay. And Garnacho, honestly, I don't see him starting games now for Ruben Amorim. I'm concerned because it looks like he's lost 3/4 of his front line in just his stance alone, Jay, Ruben Amorim, and how he wants to run this football team.
I think you almost could refer to Garnacho now as almost like a luxury player. Like, can you, in 5 years' time, see Garnacho playing for a Real, a Barcelona, or a Bayern? You asked me the same question 2 years ago. I would have said yes. Based on what I've seen this season and the last season, I think Garnacho is in very, very clear and grave danger of not achieving his full potential because the stardom factor has gone to his head already.
A lot of people have said that in recent shows on the chat and everything, Jay, as well. Same thing, like it's just gone to his head very quickly and he thinks he has got this right to be in the side, it would seem. And there is an issue behind the scenes, we know it. We've just been told that we know it. You'll probably find out more later on in your call, Jay, about what is going on. But it is really, really concerning now that we have got 2 of the players that we pinned hopes on in the front line out because of them not really giving a shit. Mount injured. Xerxes not good enough. We literally are clinging on to Ahmad, who's having to play everywhere. Bruno Fernandes, who's trying to do too much. And a 21-year-old striker who everyone thinks he's not good enough. But really, he hasn't got anyone to work with in Rasmus Højlund. And then you want to bring in the academy players to this as well. Honestly, it scares me right now. It really does. It's exciting and scary at the same time, Joe. And I think you understand what I mean by that. That we are seeing change and we are seeing something different. But for where we need to get to, we have got to go through. We've got to go through hell to get there.
So, Adam, to sum it up, we do not have a front three right now that's capable of getting us out of this mire.
Nah. Yep.
That's it. That's my point. We don't have a front three that's capable of getting us anywhere near top 6, let alone top 4.
Yeah. That's scary, isn't it? And we thought we did, but Ruben has outed them all, it would seem. He's found weaknesses that he isn't able to work with. That's what it looks like to me. It really does. But, Jay, 2 games left this year. Let's do a little bit of a prediction. I said it would be nice to finish the year with 4 wins in a row, beating City, then beating Bournemouth, Wolves and Newcastle. Wolves smashed Leicester today, 3-0 away from home without Gary O'Neill. I'm now fearing that game at Molineux on Boxing Day. If we lose that, and then we lose to Newcastle, we're heading into Anfield. You know where I'm going with that, Jay. Give me a prediction. Can we get anything from Wolves and Newcastle and finish 2025 on a high? Because right now, this is the first time in our history in the Premier League that we've finished in the bottom half of the table at Christmas.
Adam, I would take 4 points right now from those 2 games in a heartbeat.
Oh, God, I'd rip your hand off. I would rip your hand off, mate.
I can see. Now, I want to be wrong. I can see a loss and a draw.
Yep.
How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm thinking we're scraping 2 draws, personally, right now from that. And we're going to stay planted in 13th position in the league. Honestly, I said it coming out of Old Trafford. I think the Europa League is our only hope now. I feel absolutely gutted. I feel let down as a fan. I feel like the hope that was there has been completely taken away after that performance there today. I didn't think the players could go back to how bad they were and how scared they were and gutless they were under Ten Hag. I feel we'll turn them around, but obviously now I think it's probably too late and there's too much work to do. And with the games coming up, that's what I fear. I wanted momentum going into Liverpool and Arsenal at the turn of the year, and now fearing them big time. I'm fearing the games coming up against Wolves and Newcastle as well. Just a quick remark from RUBEN AMORIM after the game. We said, if you look at the game, we were not conceding anything before the first goal. We had opportunities. If we manage to score the first goal, then the game should be different. We want to score, but we are too nervous. We have to fight this. It's like they're fighting their inner demons, is what RUBEN AMORIM is saying there. They don't have confidence in what they are doing, Jay. And there's only so much you can teach them. There's so much you can do with them on the training ground. But in their heads, if they are not capable of doing it, they are going to have serious problems in surviving.
Adam, in all my years watching the club, I've never heard a manager openly refer to players as too nervous. Have you?
No.
That's profound. That's a profound quote right there. Stating openly in a public forum, your players are too nervous. So he's stating that. Obviously, it's fact because we know it's fact, but also he wants a bloody response.
Yeah, it does. I don't know if he's going to get it. You can tell he's pissed off as well because he was asked about Marcus Rashford being available for Boxing Day.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Adam.
It depends.
The English media, not in better talk about it. Marcus fucking Rashford.
I know.
Nobody cares anymore.
No.
Nobody cares.
His response was, it depends, we will see. I think he's even fed up of Marcus Rashford right now. Obviously, you know what? I came out of that stadium there today and I was saying to people again outside, it's like, we have just suffered one of our hardest defeats of the season there, and our most senior player is sat at home with his feet up, watching it on TV because he can't be arsed training. They're the facts that we have to deal with right now as Man United fans. Hard-hitting facts. That our most experienced player at this football club right now is sat at home, fully fit, because he is not willing to train hard enough for our new coach. Holy shit. Let that just sink in. Like that's where this team and where this squad is actually at right now.
But remember, that's the homegrown academy graduate that had to get buses to training, and the club has put all their marketing prowess behind as the poster
I've just
boy.
been told Rashford was actually at the game. So if anything, he's sat in the stands watching it, which is even worse. I don't really care where he is, but just to make sure that it's factual. Sorry, everybody. I have just been informed that he was at the game. I'm just thinking, like, literally, because he's not on that pitch. Like, oh, God. Like, he's sat there watching that. Like, he must
Adam,
be... He should be ashamed of himself.
Before we go, how about we do a quick poll? Has Marcus Rashford played his last game for the club? Yes or no? 1 minute poll. See what we get back. Just out of interest.
Yeah, we might just stick that in there now. I'll put that up now. 1 second, everyone.
Just see, guys, what your thoughts are raw after another embarrassing loss. Be interesting. Just a little 1 minute test there on Rashford.
Okay, that poll is up now. So let us know, everybody. Has Marcus Rashford played his last game for the club? Just going to run that for a couple of minutes while we've still got a few people in. Almost at 200 live likes, everybody. Please do keep liking the video. Let's get that up. We're only about 14 away. Make sure you have subscribed as well to Forever United TV. Let me know your thoughts in the comments when the video is finished as well. Already with well over 100 votes, 82% of the poll has said this is Rashford done. 82% saying he has played his last game for the football club. Which is crazy, isn't it? It really is. Sat there watching his teammates suffer like that, not willing to be on that pitch.
27 years of age, prime years as a player.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, God. Ruben Amorim is in a tough old spot. But that does conclude the show. Thank you, everybody. It has been a horrible day. I don't want it to ruin Christmas, of course. There are more important things. It doesn't feel like it at the moment. That's all I'm saying. It feels horrible. We cannot even enjoy City's one defeat in 12 games. United just have to beat them, don't they? And being even worse. For God's sake. Like, just give us something. Come on. All we needed was a goal for Christmas. We couldn't even fucking get that. Oh, God. Oh, never mind. We go and we fight and we go again, as the players love to say all the time. It's Boxing Day next. But I will be back tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning with your full update show with more information news-wise. I'm sure there will be plenty circulating. I'll do some digging myself as well. Try and find out some more information for you all as to what is happening behind the scenes at United, because surely there has to be some upset people. I'd be getting them players in and training them on Christmas morning right now. That's what I would be doing. They can fuck off, honestly. Anyway, 83% of you in the poll, which is around about 200 already, have said that Rashford's played his last game for the football club. And on that bombshell, we will leave it there. Jay, thanks for coming on, mate.
Pleasure, pal. Happy Christmas, everybody. If I don't see you before then.
Yes, mate. And a good one to you too, mate. I will message you later on. Cheers, Jay, and cheers, everybody. We are out of here. Have a great evening, what's left of it, or what you can do. And I'll see you all first thing in the morning.